New tonight, officials here in Arizona have struggled to manage the wild horses and burros roaming the desert.
But on an island off the eastern shore of Virginia and Maryland, they found a way to control the wild horses and make them a central part of the community.
Cronkite News reporter Bryan Pietsch brings us the story.
Here on CHINCOTEAGUE Island, ponies are everywhere. From stores to restaurants to the high school mascot, the island's wild horses are a pillar of the community and the local economy.
The whole economy depends on these ponies. I mean, if the ponies weren't here, I hate to think what would happen to our economy here.
Legend has it that the horses landed on the island, now a popular summer vacation spot, after a shipwreck, while some say 17th century settlers put them on the island to avoid taxes. The horses rose to fame in the 1947 book, Misty of Chincoteague, and they still roam free, thanks to a grazing permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, paid for by the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department, which owns and manages the horses. Volunteer firefighter and self-described saltwater cowgirl Denise BOWDEN was born and raised on the island, growing up around the wild horses that she now manages.
We take great pride in making sure that they're healthy and happy and sustainable, and we take great pride in the event and our volunteers, and again, it is all volunteers that does every bit of this. We take great pride in being able to keep this tradition going and praying that it'll go another 95 years coming.
The grazing permit limits the herd to 150 horses. To keep population at that level, the fire department auctions off foals every summer and swims the horses across the bay in a roundup that has become a central draw to the town for tourists and locals alike. DARCY Cole, a local Chincoteague resident, walks around the island reserve where the horses live every day.
They are a national treasure, and they are part of this community. This community revolves around the ponies.
And on the other side of the island, called Assateague, a separate herd of horses is owned and managed by the National Park Service, which has pioneered a form of birth control to maintain a sustainable population size.
They're managed quite differently for one of the same end results, which is control the population so they don't overpopulate and overgraze their resource.
While the programs on both sides of the island are managed differently, BOWDEN said the horses have a rich history that needs to be protected.
They've been roaming, these wild horses have been roaming over here for almost 500 years, long before we were ever here to do anything with them. They've lived and bred and died over here, and that's going to continue to happen no matter what.
BOWDEN said the key is to engage younger generations to keep the ponies' legacies alive. On CHINCOTEAGUE Island in Virginia, Bryan Pietsch, Cronkite News.
If you're wondering why BOWDEN calls herself a saltwater cowgirl, it's a reference to the annual pony roundup by Chincoteague's firefighters. Before they can be auctioned off, the ponies have to swim the channel to the town of Chincoteague, where they are held for auction.